primp, my pillows. Hi friends. My name is Emelina Calder. Well, okay, we're in the middle of a name change and a rebrand. So my name is Emelina, also known as Stormy, but really I'm going to be forwardly facing as Stormy, also known as Emelina. Be flexible with me. I'm in the middle of a big identity change. There's nothing like an existential crisis like changing your name. Anyway, so just keeping it real. What are we going to talk about today? I'm going to go on a rant about like karmic justice, karma in general. I want to talk about karma, what it means, what people think about it, and what is the actual TLDR with karma. Too long, didn't read. Yes. Okay, so now let me go through my fun little announcements. The first one is, as you guys know, I always like to give you guys free offers. The fall equinox ceremony that we did last week was out of this world. It's an hour-long replay. If you want that, click the link below in the description, and I will send you the replay link for free. The fall equinox, the downloads are all around balancing your light and your shadow, understanding how to work the energy of both light and shadow in conjunction with each other in sacred alchemy. That is how I'm going to tackle karma with you guys in this video. So that's going on. I've also got the Summer Quantum Breakthrough one-to-one mentorship coaching program open right now. And I do very much feel like I need to say to you guys, I am always known for moving into VIP pricing. If you have wanted to work with me, now is your time because I can feel myself moving. I'm not going to have this open for much longer at all. This is the entryway to work with me in a way that will absolutely fundamentally change your life. I can guarantee that. Of course, you are the one who's doing your own work. I'm holding the space and I'm reflecting both your light and your shadow back to you in a way where the karma is automatically resolved through our conversations and through our energetic interactions. If you have been wanting to work with me, I am no longer doing one-off readings. I sometimes will do them through the year because I like getting access to people. But for you guys to know, this is how I think about one-off readings because this is just how it comes into my energy field. It feels way too casual. It feels like casual dating. I'm not here for one-night stands. I'm also not here for like a one-off, like, oh, let me give you like a bite of spirit and go off. Like, no. I need to go for deep dive transformations. I'm here for long-term work. So the Summer Quantum Breakthrough program, the shortest program is 8 weeks. You can go from 8 to 12 to 16. That container is up to you and your spirit and what you need. If you are interested, send me an email at wearewokeaf@gmail.com and I will send you all of the details. I am not blowing smoke here. Like, this will probably be open for another 2 to 3 weeks, maybe. Once it's closed, I'm shifting back into my 6-figure programs and my 6-figure investments. That's not to be, I'm not trying to be snotty or anything. I'm just literally, I was like, why aren't people realizing the value? And I'm like, oh, I need to tell them. So let me be very forward and transparent with you. If you don't understand clear value, where I'm just very casually telling you what I'm doing, I'll give you the financial understanding. The difference in the financial investments is tremendous. I like reaching you guys, so I like creating affordable programs. Right now, this feels like what I need and want to do. And as I'm opening up the Summer Quantum Breakthrough program, the clients that I'm working with, that is creating a new course out of me around identity shifting that I will be offering for you guys. So the way that I make things affordable and accessible is I create courses and I create workshops and I create ways for you guys to get access to me that doesn't always have to be one-on-one. Anyway, all of that to say, if you're feeling called, if you're feeling inspired, if you want one-to-one mentorship with yours truly, there is nothing like it. Send me an email and I will send you all the details for that. There is, of course, no obligation. It is only if you are guided and inspired to change your life with me as your expert, your mentor with you, to reinforce your own guru within yourself, your own spiritual connection. So that's what I've got there. I'm really, really excited about that. I've got some like power, like the people that are working with me there are like power hitters too. And it's just like, if you resonate with this, you're probably also a power hitter, and I'd be happy to strengthen your ability to knock balls out of the park consistently. You know, that's what I do. Okay, so let me jump right into the karma situation here. So I wanted to talk about this because it's really coming into my field a lot, and I just felt very inspired this morning, and I try to harness the energy before it leaves. Because I tend to like alchemize energy really quickly. And I'm like, oh, if I can get this on a stream, then people can learn from how I'm already pre-processing it. So anyway, karma. I feel like people have such a, here's what I'm gonna outline. The typical collective thoughts around karma and things that I hear all the time that I've like worked through. People are afraid of karma. People think karma is hunting them down. People think that if they don't think the right thoughts and if they don't vibrate the right way, that they're attracting negative experiences. We'll get into it. Whenever something bad happens, you're probably thinking, I attracted that. There must be, and then if we go, it's not all of you, but this is very likely the pattern. Under the I attracted that statement is another sublayer in the subconscious mind that is, I must be bad. I must be bad at manifesting. I must be not really great at being spiritual because I attracted that. There must be something wrong with me is the next phase. I must be broken is the next phase. I am such a fucking pro at shadow work. I can work through the shadows of the subconscious mind, and they usually come down to brokenness. When most people think karma, they're not thinking, I'm a multimillionaire. They're thinking, I'm broken. But how do we get to the I'm broken? I just walked you through it. We go layer by layer by layer, onion layer, until you get to the deepest part, which is I'm broken, God doesn't love me, I screwed up, see, I'm not putting in the right input, I'm not putting the right money in the slot machine, which is why the slot machine's not giving it back to me the right way. And it's like, well, bitch, this shit's rigged. Like, it is a slot machine. Like, welcome to planet Earth. You are putting money in. It is kind of a gambling addict, and you're like, karma, let me put more money in and see what comes out. And it's like, wow, like, God is in charge. What you're forgetting about this whole process, not that you are, take what resonates, leave the rest, but I'm speaking to the depth of the collective mind and the depth of the subconscious in the shadow. Playing with karma is like playing with a slot machine. If you make karma your God, which is what they're showing me right now is happening in the subconscious shadow process, is that you make shadow your God. That was a Freudian slip. When you make karma your God, which is, let me explain, you're expecting the feedback from the universe to show you the evidence of whether or not you are good. And the goodness is the judgment of whether or not you are getting things that you perceive to be of high value without getting anything messy in the process in your world and in your environment. And this is why I want to massage this program out, break it down, and ultimately destroy it. I'm in destroyer mode today, and I'm like, this karmic process, I'm just like, we need to destroy this. It is literally, I hear it all the time with people, and I can hear the layers, and I've been through the layers of it, and it is what is holding back so many spiritual people, is this idea that they have to people please God in order to get the good karma, in order to receive the good blessings. And if anything in your life is not happening perfectly as per the law of attraction, which I have a lot to say on, by the way, that you're attracting the bad things, so you must be bad, so you have to get better, so there's something inherently wrong with you, so now you need to look at your broken, and it's like, you were never broken. There was never anything fucking wrong with you. Karma is a slot machine, okay? When we come to Earth, I don't think you guys have any idea, like, the level to which you can change your reality, yes, and the level to which it is an extraordinary gamble, whatever the fuck you were given here. Yes. 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 It's all yes. The amount of shadow work that I do daily allows me to just say yes. Now, when you understand that the external circumstances truly don't matter, they keep telling me a karmic slot machine. Okay, sometimes you're gonna win. But if you guys know how slot machines work, they are rigged for you to lose. So you need to understand that the way that cause and effect, the law of cause and effect works, it's not a pure law. It is rigged for loss so that you can feed into the system of cause and effect. Because if you were just all divine, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't feed your energy into the system. That system is an entity type and it would have no power. And that entity type wants to live just like how you want to live. Now, the law of karma, what can we see that as? We see it as like a mountain. Like it's like a big entity type. All right? And it's very hungry. But it's not bad. That's why I'm saying see it as like a force of nature. It's like a mountain. So you're going to curse the mountain. Bad mountain. The mountain's just like, no, I just need trees. I need birds. I need to do things with the poop that the birds send on me. I need to work with the volcano next door and like pull the energy up and I don't know, like heat waves, whatever, like do your scientific research. Anyway, it's a force. It's a force. That force has a personality. It's an entity. It's an energetic entity. The reason why I'm bringing karma into the entity scape is because I want you guys to understand karmic patterns as entity types. When we understand them as entities, we take things less personally because it's not personal. And we understand why there's such repetition with karma is because it's an entity type that you are working with until you finally are able to somehow alchemize it or shut the door on it. Generally speaking, I don't know that we can really shut a door on karma. It's very hard. It's actually easier to ingest it, consume it, alchemize it, and turn it into something. So the name of the game when we incarnate on this planet is not how do I get good karma? It's how do I build my character? How do I become the strongest, most badass fucking human that has ever existed? Which is kind of how I perceive myself, actually. So that nothing can faze me. Because whatever battle is coming via karma, and a lot of the karma is good karma too, but you have to understand that karma is a double-sided coin. It's just like they're showing me the Gemini archetype, right? It's like feast or famine, karma's feast or famine, feast or famine. So, I mean, if you're playing it, you're playing for the feast scenario, you're also playing into famine in one way or another. So it's better to turn your attention from giving your power to karma, meaning I'm going to act in a certain way so that the law of attraction will bring me only good things. Oh my God, how conditional. I am not going to wear, this is how Emelina, Stormy, I'm really in the middle of the change, okay, you guys, just flex with me. This is how I run my energy is I don't care. I don't care what's coming at me. It's too much effort, honestly, and the amount of spiritual work I've done, it's way too much effort to try to filter it and make it all good. It's just too much. What I care about is my personal character. Can I handle whatever it is? And it's not from the expectation of getting hit or hurt energetically, although that certainly is there for me if I'm being transparent. It's more that like I have just released my spiritual ego, I think is what it is, in the understanding that I cannot control the forces of nature. I can't. Neither can you. You can try and you might be able to get along with it for a while. Okay, if I act this way and I act this way all the time and I'm super hyper positive and oh my God, the law of attraction is working for me and everything's always working for me and it's all just gonna all work out and I can feel my energy going up and it's fun. It's fun to ride a high like that. But it's very hard to maintain because it's artificial. For the far majority of people, it's so artificial. But does it work? Like, yeah. And is it working for you? Well, that's up for you to see in your life. I'm always going to encourage you guys to do what you want. Leave the rest. I'm here to be a reflection for ideas for you to then refine your own ideas of yourself. What I think people miss in this landscape, in this ecosystem of manifestation, of spirituality, of esoteric work, is, as far as I'm concerned, I am not the controller of the environment. I'm not even a controller of how I feel. I don't think God hates me to the point where I'm not allowed to feel the way that I'm feeling right now, which is very passionate in this moment. I wouldn't call it angry, but I'm in a very fed up state, and it's an energy, right? It's an energy type. It's a necessary energy type for where I need to go today. And a lot of people will be like, "Oh, that energy, it's not good enough, like that's not a high frequency." Well, in this moment it is a high frequency because I've taken all of the crud with me and into the collective that I've been feeling on my energy to alchemize it and then present you with a refined energy that you can work with in whatever way feels right for you. But I'm trying to say to you, like, God's not conditional. God will give you your blessings even if you're cranky today. The law of attraction isn't God. God is everything working together. Source is everything unconditional. The law of attraction is conditional. The condition is you attract what you put out. But the deal here is, like, do you believe in a conditional parent? We'll call this a parent. Do you believe in a conditional parent energy where you only get what you need when you're acting the right way? The right way being whatever the conditions are to meet it? Or do you believe that you get what you need because you are? Do you believe in being a baby that's abandoned unless you don't cry? Or do you believe that there are benevolent forces, huge forces in this universe that when they see a baby crying, and I'm saying baby because we're humans, we're babies in our consciousness. Do you believe that when a baby is crying that these benevolent forces of the universe will come and swaddle them and say, I've got you. I will find a way to take care of you. I can say from my own personal experience, not everybody has, I was literally going to say not everybody has the experience that I do. Nobody has the experience that I do. So I'm going to unveil some of it. There have been moments where really I have been completely left for abandonment, like in severe ways. And it makes me want to cry because this is like where so much of my belief comes from. The forces of the universe step in and lift me. They completely take me over. Forces of nature. I am a shaman. I work with the elements. The elements and entity types come in and pull me up and then move me into place in physical environments and things like that, and with people that can then support that part of me that needs to be loved and nurtured, even though I'm not putting out the vibrational frequency that would attract the help. I'm actually putting out the vibrational frequency of a crying, terrified, tortured child. And I'm always met. Always. The forces of nature will always step in. And I guess I'm saying this because of the process I've been working through is there's a lot of toxicity around. It's not that the law of attraction is bad or anything. It's just not the end all be all. Like, there's a lot of toxic thinking and believing around the law of attraction and around the law of karma, because so many people think it's like you transferred your shitty relationship with your parents to God. It's just like, and what I mean by that, you guys know I'm so crass. Like, I really just like to be human and cut to the chase, as opposed to like spiritually bypassing this. It's when I say like the shitty relationship with your parents, I mean that when we come into human form, as babies, as children, in order to receive love, we have to act a certain way. There are very few people on this planet that will completely, totally love unconditionally no matter what. Very few. Some of them are saints, but it's like you just have to. I'll do another video on this at some point. I used to call myself an eternal optimist. I am not. I'm a realist. But I'm not the realist that most people assume themselves to be. I'm the realist where I understand what it is to be human. To be human is to be inherently flawed. So you can expect those flaws. So what I do is I prepare for optimism and I have constant contingency plans no matter what. And that is what I'm essentially describing to you energetically, is like totally optimistic. Law of attraction is wonderful. But the reality is that you're not perfect. And the people around you are not perfect. And if you try to, it's a narcissistic way of thinking. It's not bad. It's a part of the process of becoming more awakened. When you step into thinking that you do have control over everything and that you have to control your internal state in order to get what you want from the world, that is, oh my gosh, I just lost the word. It's thinking based in control. It's conditional thinking. You're literally looking to control the universe. Well, if I put out this vibration, and it's true, if you do put out a higher vibration, you will receive higher vibrational circumstances to you. The issue with that is your shadow has still not been accepted. You are neglecting the shadow to live in the light, which is beautiful, but at some point, because being human is very flawed and very real and very challenging, at some point, you're going to move back to your shadow. because there's no way out of it. At some point it will happen as a human, and then you're going to be terrified because your shadow has been neglected, because you said to yourself essentially, I can't just be. And the truth is, you can be a shadowed, shitty little tantrum filled 2-year-old in your consciousness and still be loved by God. You will still be supported. It might be a little harder in those moments to gain support. You might need a little bit more benevolent forces than are traditional. And I'm not speaking to like people that are doing mean, bad, evil shit. Like, do they have their way out as well? Yes. But I'm really speaking to the core of my audience that are going to be like, you're mostly in the light and you're self-punishing, not because you mean to, it's by mistake. But there's an aspect of when we enroll in these more spiritual ways of thinking, there's like a self-punishing component that's like, I'm not good enough. It is a spiritual perfectionism, where you think that you have to be perfect in order to receive what you need in this world. You don't. Actually, you just need to be in process. You need to be in progress. You need to be with yourself. It is always good. We're always striving. I'm such a goal-oriented person, you guys. I am so effing driven and so effing motivated. Like that side of myself is always here. That side of yourself will always be here. And depending on which side you need to work on yourself more, like relaxing versus application and effort, you know, that's going to be up to you. You'll know yourself the best. But this idea of perfectionism cultivates narcissism, even in the most pure of people. Now, self-focus, because I want to separate narcissism down, self-focus is not a problem. Narcissism is when you're so self-focused that you can't place your focus or attention anywhere else to understand your impact or effect that your thoughts, beliefs, or actions have on others. And I do feel like a lot of this spiritual collective that's being developed, it's not bad. It's just like the process of evolution. Like, we're all moving through it together as a collective, but I feel like it is cultivating a new level of spiritual narcissism, where people they're like, I'm vibrating high, see, and they're not acknowledging their impact that their actions have on others. This is a very nuanced conversation. You guys are going to have to rock and roll with me, because I love Abraham Hicks. I love all of the law of attraction content. I'm speaking to a very intermediate advanced audience at this point that has already absorbed most of that and is like kind of massaging in the real subtle nuances of, but I don't want to feel damaged. What am I doing wrong that I'm not getting what I want from this world? That thinking is the problem. And it's not that you're a problem, and it's not that you're bad. Like, that needs to be made very, very, very clear. You are human. The thing, you know what's so funny to all the spiritual stuff, and I'll circle back to the karmic, because it's all karmic. It's like, we think that we can out-vibrate the human experience. You can't until you die. You can't. What's the human experience? You would have to know inherently what it is to be human. To be human is to err. It is to be flawed. It is to have a shadow. It is to be a little less evolved. It is to throw temper tantrums. So to ask a human to not be human, to not have those aspects of their consciousness, is to deny someone of their humanity. If you were to deny a person of their humanity, which a lot of you are doing to yourselves by trying to overly act perfect to please Source, to please God, so that you can get more money or better love or what have you. And I'm going to break this stuff down because, you know, I've been really tracing through a lot of my circumstances, and I have been very, very perfect in every way, like very perfect. And you can't perfect your way through the matrix. I don't get perfect circumstances back in exchange for being such a good human. I don't get good human experiences back. What I get is more and more and more and more and more challenge, because I feel like I'm breaking the stronghold right now energetically of the entity type of perfection. It doesn't exist. I mean, not to take it like very Buddhist monk, but I'm going to. The perfection is right now. It literally is right now. Wherever you are right now, I can feel my heart wanting to just cry out for all of you guys. Like, wherever you are right now is the perfection. If you can sit into that expansion in the moment, it really is a quantum expansion in the moment of that perfection, of that self-love right now, and just connect to it. Like, I'm perfect now. There is nothing I need to do. There is nothing I need to think. There's nothing I need to vibrate. My core vibrational frequency right now is the highest. Now. The second you shift your attention to that now moment, they're showing me what's happening is when we're chasing karma, chasing spirituality, I have to be better, I have to vibrate better, I gotta say my affirmations, I gotta do my morning rituals. You know what I said a year ago? I said, fuck morning rituals. I hate them. And if you guys knew me, I'm so freaking flippant right now. If you guys knew me like 5 years ago, I was like, you wake up, you do a cold shower, we do these mantras, then you run, then you do bop, 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 bop. And you know, I realized I was placing all these conditions for me to feel good. And now I just wake up and I'm like, I do whatever the fuck I want because that's what I want to do. I don't give a F about a morning ritual. My ritual is I watch a YouTube video, I brush my teeth, I complain for a few minutes, and then I sit down and do my journaling if I want to. I pull some cards, I do whatever I want, I go get some work done, I make money, I have a good time, I have who I want in my life, the people I don't, I make it clear. I just fucking live. And it's so funny because, you know, there is a version of me in the past that would have been like, this version of Stormy Emelina now is like not spiritual. I am the most spiritual than I've ever been. I am the most accepting of myself and others. Being in or around my energy is so fucking transformative because of my level of love and acceptance for what it is to be human and my understanding of the laws of the universe. My faith is absolutely unshakable, not from a place of blind faith. And at some point I will go into that because I have a lot of trauma around blind faith because I think it creates trauma for a lot of people. I did not build my faith blind. I built my faith based in historical evidence. I tested God over and over and over and over and over again. And I scraped my ass along the way, but I was like, I want to know that I can trust. No matter what, that I can trust. How do you trust? That shows up differently for everyone. So many different paths. Karma shows up in so many different paths. I guess, you know, this is going to be a very long-term conversation for us here on YouTube and through my programs, but karma's not like a one-stop shop. Like, you're not doing your life wrong. The reason why karma's pointed out spiritually, how we identify to it, is because there is cause and effect that is very real. And there are things that you are doing right now that are attracting circumstances and experiences to you that you don't prefer. And there is an element of self-development and mastery of finessing your energy, giving yourself love and respect, and not doing things that harm yourself or others. That cause and effect is very important. What I'm speaking to are the deeper levels of karma, where people like me, and I know I've got you in my audience, and I saw a few of you in here that I know I'm speaking to as well, that I adore all of you. I'm talking to a specific archetype of earth angels, because I think there's this idea that when you are such a good person, that everyone's just going to become good and reflect that to you. And I'd like to smash that down because it's just not true. And I know because I've been working it. I've been working it for a long time. I always take the high road for a long, long time. The thing about taking the high road is it's not about perfecting the outside form to meet you with other people taking the high road. That's not what the high road's for. You take the high road because you are a person of integrity, because your character, You are so undeniably rooted in your personal character, in the bones of who you are, that you say, no matter what happens, I'm going to take the high road because I have personal dignity and respect for myself, that I'm not going to ever look for an out or a cheat. I don't care what is shown to me. And that becomes the new karmic path. It's really a spiritual mission. And what happens when we do that, and these are earth angels, and I know I've got you in my audience, we become that in the matrix. So there's this trick where because I have earth angel status, and I've constantly been wondering, I am so good to people. I turn a cheek all the time. I transmute energies. I'm so fucking forgiving, and I just keep getting hit and hit and hit and hit. But that's kind of the point of being an earth angel, and that's what God doesn't tell you when you select this process. Is that it's not about you being perfect to create perfect form back for you. It's about the internal alchemy process of realizing that you were never doing it to heal others. As being an earth angel, yes, I am constantly healing others, but it is not my mission. My mission is to heal myself and the bones of my own character, my own dignity and personal respect, which are, I am a person of high authority, high value, high character. My character will never change. Like the core of who I am is who I am, and I maintain her at all times. It's about understanding your virtues and never straying from them. So for those of you that don't know, but many people that know me know, I am the same behind closed doors as I am not. I act like everyone's watching me all the time. Because the truth is that the laws of the universe are karmic justice. And you can't run from God. And I realized, a lot of the reflections I get with people, I'm always shocked. I'm like, wow, they act one way in front of me, but then I get all this psychic data and all these psychic attacks, and I'm like, why do they do that? Why don't they just act fucking consistent? A lot of you are probably encountering scenarios like this. You're like, why don't the people around me just fucking act consistent? Why are you changing your behavior when you're in the light or when you're behind closed doors in the shadow talking shit about people or doing black magic? Do you know how many people do black magic? It's fucking insane. Or sex magic, not the good sort of sex magic. I'd be happy to talk all day about sexual alchemy, but sex magic? People do sex magic to control other people all the time. It's nasty. It's why are they doing that behind closed doors? Why are you acting out of character? And it's ultimately what I've found. It's because they think that God doesn't exist. They forget that there is a running tally. They think that these are just humans. They're like, oh, well, I'm just facing human judgment. And as long as if I keep it together in front of the humans and then behind closed doors, no humans are watching me, I can do whatever the fuck I want, I'm fine. It's things have been really clicking into place for me where people are like, wow, she's so consistent. I'm so consistent. I am so structured. I am so, you know what to expect with a person like me. I'm consistently in integrity. My integrity, maintaining my personal balance with my virtues. And it's I always wonder, I'm why do people put on one face literally in the light, when they're in front of people, and then when they're in the shadows, when they go home, they're doing an entirely different agenda or version of themselves. It's the shadowed archetype. And the reason is because ultimately there's a lack of a belief in a higher power. They think that they can hide what they do and what they think, and that they will only be judged for what they are perfecting in front of others, when the truth is you're going to be judged for the whole damn show. So, I don't know. I've been doing this for over a decade. I act like everyone's watching me all the time. Because the truth is, God's always watching me all the time, and God's taking the tally. And this is why I have a gold streak, is what I would call it. And I know some of you in my audience do as well. You have a winning streak. Your character is defined and consistent no matter what you walk into, no matter what it is, whether you're in front of people in the light and performing, or whether you are at home journaling or ranting, or like, are you talking shit about people? Are you looking well about people? Are you, and that's not to say that you don't channel your sacred rage, because that's very real for spiritualists. There's a lot of sacred white rage that needs to be like worked with. It's a power, and transformed. You know, you're not, well, there's so many aspects, so much depth in this. I can only touch on some of it. Okay, let me just think for a sec where I want to take that. I think this is such an important conversation. I'm happy to finally have a little bit of anger, like, jostled up inside of me, where I can start talking about it. Righteousness. I don't know if I'd call it anger. I'm just fed up, you guys. I'm just fed up. It's a good energy to be in. A previous version of myself would be like, don't be fed up, go back on that. Wait until you're like all glowy and like, oh my God, life is so good, and then go on. Life is really good. This is the goodness. This is the goodness of life. Stop contorting yourself to fit the matrix. Stop contorting yourself to make karma work for you. Karma just works. There is no work for you, work against you. It just works. And it just works through you understanding your core of character. Who the fuck are you? If you are a video game character, are you, oh my gosh, I don't play D&D, but I spent a very long time, my ex played D&D, and so I'm going to use those references if I can. I'm going to try to pull them up in my brain because I feel like they're valuable. It's like, my point to be, I was saturated around it enough where hopefully I think I might be able to use it contextually, but I never like did it myself. So with the D&D characters, they create their characters, and I think there's oh my God, let me think about how to explain this because it's so relevant to how we play as humans. What's the core of your character? So when you're creating a Dungeons and Dragons character, there's this like idea of, I'm seeing the spectrum. It's what spectrum of evil or good do you want to play on? So are you, there's lawful and unlawful for both sides actually, and they're both relative. So you want to understand the sort of character that you're playing. This is karma. This is your karma in this earth. These are the bones of your character that you've selected. So there's like, and someone can tell, those of you that play D&D, like drop them in. There's such good, I don't play, so I don't know. Maybe I should play, but like D&D has a lot of parallels to how spirits work. How entities work through us. But anyway, so okay, so when you pick a character or you're creating your character, there's evil and then there's good. Okay, you got to pick your side. If you pick evil, within evil, it's not all evil, right? There's different degrees of evil, just like there are different degrees of good. It's all very relative. So on the evil side, it's like, are you going to be lawful evil or unlawful evil? Or there's something in the middle that can transition. I forget what it's called. Neutral? Is it neutral evil? I can't remember. Somebody can tell me. Unlawful evil are like your psychopaths, like the Joker. They're the ones that have very unpredictable evil behavior. They will turn on other evil alliances. They're unreliable even to the evil. Does that make sense? Then there are lawful evil, which are the sort of evil that have a hierarchy. They have some level of ethics. There is something that they answer to and they speak to. Just instead of God, their God is a hierarchy. So that God, it's like a mafia structure, okay? So you've got someone that's like, they're misbehaving, they're evil, they don't give a fuck until the mafia boss comes in and they're like, I give a fuck about you. Okay, that's lawful evil. They are unpredictable to good, but they are predictable in the way that these are more on the sociopathic territory, because sociopaths have an understanding of ethics, whereas psychopaths don't. It's like, they have predictable patterns based in power dynamics. So when a certain power is available in the hierarchy, those sorts of evil characters will act in a very predictable way that has structure. Then there's the neutral evil, which are the ones that like are chaotic, but not sworn into the evil path, if that makes sense. They kind of play both sides. And I actually know, I have a lot of people in my life that have been this. They're like, really, like, they got one foot on either side, or like, oh, let me fuck this up and see what happens. Oh, but I could be so sweet too, but like, I've had a lot of those in my life. They drive me a little crazy, but it's better than dealing with the unlawful evils, I'll say for sure, for me. Although honestly, I can predict all the patterns at this point. I'm very, very good at this work. I'll also read your comments after, because I know you guys are like flipping in here. I really want to read them, but I want to keep going. So then there's the good side. Okay, so there's neutral good, which are the ones that are just like, they're just here. They're just here. They're just doing their thing. They're good people. They don't try to be good people per se. They just are good people. They don't get too messy. There are a lot of these on this planet, and it's great. They're just like, oh, yeah. They're not necessarily in spirituality work or anything. They're just like living their life, but they're holding down the grids for the rest of us that are swinging on these pendulums. I actually think there's a lot of these sorts of people on the planet. They're just kind of like landing in the neutral territory. Then there's lawful good. Is that what it's called? I don't remember. I might actually have to do a little research in Dungeons and Dragons now, because I actually think I think the structure that it gives is pretty relevant. But anyway, then there's like what I would call like the lawful good, which is like, who are you answering to? You're answering to God. So I answer to God. Behind closed doors, I'm the same person as I am openly, because God's always watching me. I feel like I have constant accountability. I don't feel like I get away with shit. For reference. So I don't expect to get away with shit. So I always act in accordance with my values. My values are the laws. Okay. Oh, right. It is lawful good. They're the laws of the universe. It's the law of one. It's the law of source, the law of oneness. We're all connected. Now I'm going to take this to another level, because if we swing on the pendulum on here, if we have a scale, now we're all the way over here. Then there's what I would call the unlawful good. They're not, if there's no law that you're following, it's sorcery for the sake of sorcery. There is a term they call this in yoga. What are they? What's the term? It's when you have total mastery. I forget what it's called. There's huge karmic consequences over it, because if you don't have the lawful structure of actually speaking back, like you're in a conversation with a God structure, with a hierarchy, with the laws of the universe, you become unlawful, and it moves in the cycle, because it's not really a scale, it's a cycle. It moves in the cycle where they start to turn onto the evil side. So it's not so good, that it's like perfect. If you are working so good where everything has to be, I don't know how else to explain this. It's a level of sorcery. It's a level of manipulation where they become God. They're no longer answering to a God, and that and the unlawful evil are the same. One's wearing white, one's wearing black. I don't know the characters. I wish I had more like pop culture references, but I can't mix my energy into it to understand them. So you guys will get the gist. In Lord of the Rings, there are two wizard characters, right? There's Gandalf, and we know Gandalf is like, he's like the lawful good. Then there's that other wizard who's a sorcerer, who like hurts people, who looks good, but he's actually really evil. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I don't remember that character's name. I also don't have time to read Lord of the Rings right now to give it to you guys, but I wish I could, so somebody could shortcut that process for me. Chaotic good. Yeah, thanks, Mark. My totem is triggered. I'm trying to, yeah, I'll jump into these. Oh, wait. Mark, is that what it's called? Hold on. Do you play D&D? Because that sounds right. Chaotic good. Yeah. Right. Yes. Chaotic good versus not chaotic. So, yeah, I'm a nerd. That's great. I have full acceptance for this. Okay, so it's funny that people that play D&D, like, you guys think you're nerd. I don't know. It's like I was so surrounded by it. My ex was a total D&D guy. I think it's really beautiful. I just never played, but it's such a good, the way the characters and the way the worlds are built. Oh my gosh. How people engage with their characters, it's like acting and spirituality, like, and playing, like, all in one. You guys, I love this. Go buddy up in the comments. All the DMs can have a party, the DFs. I think we need a party too. We need a different sort of party. I'll create the parties. I need to like do some Los Angeles like retreats or something with you guys. I don't know. It's on my mind. Oh my gosh, that was such a good term though. Chaotic good. Okay, yeah, so there's the chaotic. Okay, so is chaotic and unlawful the same? There's chaotic evil and chaotic good. Chaotic good is like also not, it's not that great, but a lot of people step into that territory where it's like good, but it's like, you're not it's like where spiritual people then become like, well, I'm going to deliver the karma personally. And it's like, shut the front door. Like, you're not God. That's the balance we're dealing with as humans. To err is to be human. That's what we are, is like, we can be godly. We can accept our God seed power, but we are not God, right? We're not God, but we can be godly. We can become God in our own life, but we are not God for everyone else. I think that's what it is. It's really about understanding your own power and not projecting that power or judging other people's power or taking or giving. Like, you are not the deliverer of the power. You just are you. So anyway, also I kind of wonder where I fall as a character, like the character Stormy Emelina, like where she falls on the spectrum of things. I don't know if I'm in the neutral or if I'm like, I definitely work both sides, but I think probably more what would you call it? Consistent, a lawful good. Drea, this conversation is so for you. You triggered me into this in a really, really positive way with the question you asked me last week. It made me think about this so much. I definitely could see how perfectionism could lead to the chaotic good side. Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you for bringing that back for me. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to say. I literally was so afraid of becoming evil for the longest time due to religious programming. Yeah, same. Okay, so mine, instead of religious programming, mine is the programming of my upbringing. I was surrounded by so much chaotic evil. That I didn't want to be that to such a level of strength that, yeah, very similar. I created a structure of perfectionism for myself that didn't exist in the environment, but it does mimic the chaotic behavior, especially if you're raised in chaotic or tumultuous or traumatic environments. You're going to somehow mimic that trauma, and the trauma does come across as chaos. Chaos is neither good nor bad. It's just chaos. The name Stormy is me embracing everything in my chaos and the chaos of this world, and then moving that into a direction of structure, like giving the storm structure. Like, what are we doing with the storm? Where's the storm going? What's it clearing? Storms can be highly destructive, or they can be very, very clearing, very healing, huge vortexes. Depends on how it's being used, right? So it's a lot of the energy I'm working with, but I'm so excited to get into these comments. Let me just look at my notes because I want to make sure I hit on everything I didn't. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of bullet through some things, and then whatever I spin off with on my little rant, I will. So with karma, I want you guys to think about karma as assignments. They're just assignments. It doesn't, like stop taking it personally, okay? So if something happens in your environment today, tomorrow, next week, in your past, whatever, stop being like, oh, that's karma. I have to own that. I have to digest it. I have to work it. Like, I've done it, which is why I can talk to this. It would take someone who has actively worked the process to then say, actually, I found a way to refine it easier. And the easier way to refine it is to not take it personally. Karma are assignments, not just for us. They're not just Spirit's not just like, here's your karma, these are your assignments. Yes, that's true. That's not what I'm going to talk to you right now, because a lot of you guys get that already. I'm talking to karma. They are assignments. Karma is not one thing. It is many different types of vibrational patterns that I would call vibrational intelligence that we in spiritual ways, metaphysical, shamanic ways would call entities. They're alive energies with consciousness. Okay, whether they are ghosts, whether they are fairies, whether they are evil villains, whether they are shadowed archetypes, whether they are slugs in the freaking, I don't know, parasites in the shadow, or whether they are all really good things, like whether they are the spirit of blessings of money, whether it's the spirit of love and affection, the spirit of a beautiful inner child or a dandelion, or there's so many different vibrational frequencies in the quantum. Karma encapsulates all of them. So when you are receiving karma, yes, there needs to be an understanding of the lesson. But the thing about karma is it is just dished out. And I want you to see it. This is very much a relationship. You are given karma. This has been really happening in my consciousness, which is why I can explain it. And this has really helped me to maneuver in a way where I feel like I'm dancing through life now instead of fighting. But they're the same. They could look the same. It depends. You know, if you're looking at a really great martial artist, are they dancing or are they fighting? They're in a fight, but ones that, like, I started with I started with Japanese jiu-jitsu years ago. And I'm saying Japanese jiu-jitsu because it looks like a dance, as opposed to Brazilian looks a little more fighting style. I'll do some more of that too, or an MMA. But it's like you're in a fight. For you guys to know, this is my character. Okay, this is the core of my character. Is I'm always fighting, but I look like I'm dancing. Like my energy is that of a martial artist. How I move through the world is that of a martial artist. But the way that I do it with such poise and such grace that I look like I'm dancing. Now, you could see dancers as well. They're saying on the flip and say, well, they're not fighting, they're dancing, but they're in the constant alchemy of all of the movements of the room. They could be perceived as fighting, but the way that they work their process is through what looks like as play or love. But they could be fighting as well in a different way. It's like which side, if we were to look at it, the fighting is the more shadowed side, which is how I've had to approach my life and how I enjoy it, honestly. Then there are people that are on the more, I guess it's kind of the more light, the lighter, they're working the love in a different way, but they are still fighting, but it's being worked through the love. Whereas like I'm in the fight, but with the fight, I'm bringing all the love, if that makes sense. I don't know if that will make sense for you guys. It's just, and even that, it's like, it doesn't mean anything bad or negative or good on which side you are. It's just your process of how your soul learns and which lessons you are specifically looking to learn in this lifetime. I learned through leveraging shadow because of what I was raised in. And I have no ill towards how I really truly was raised, etc., because I don't take it personally. It is not personal. The circumstances I was raised in and everything, like it's just a game. You guys watch the last video. I know it's almost 2 hours, but like watch the last video. Like it's just a game. I selected character Emelina, put me into this family of chaotic evil so that I could find who I am as a character. I guess I would have been a cleric, right? Like you drop me and you're like, she's a cleric, and I don't know, and a wizard. Like whoever plays D&D, I feel like is like reverse engineering my entire like character now just based on what I just said. Just gotta understand languages of human. It's just, and then actually we need to talk the D&D thing because you're just on an adventure. You're on a journey, right? You're journeying. So like this, it's taken a lot of healing work for me to get here. I want you guys to know that I'm not discrediting any bullshit anybody's been through because I've really been through it. But what allows me to like be so light and have so much fun and just like dance and fight and like do what I want. I see the fight as a dance. I really do. Just I don't know. Whatever. But what fighting comes down to is leverage, understanding power, momentum, and direction. I have a feeling dance is the same way, but I can't I can't contextualize it that way because it's not how my character works. My character works through fight. My character works through shadow. So I need something to leverage to get my light. I think is the way that I've worked it. And my soul is very, very light. Like the amount of light that I carry, but the way that I carry it and the way that I get access to it is walking down dark alleys going, I need a demon. Like, give me something to fight, bitch. I got bored. Like, who wants to play today? I feel like that's what I do. This is also what I'm releasing so much right now. You guys watch me transform energy on camera. It's like, I stopped taking things personally. And once I was able to really identify more recently, like, oh my God, my character is stormy. It is stormy. I am stormy. That is my core of my character, is that essence. And once I know that, then it's like, of course I'm holding all of my light too, but how do I access my power? And again, like based on the last stream that I shot, like I used to get so frustrated, even more recently too. I was just like, God, like on my knees crying frequently. Like that is like been my life. Like why does this have to be so hard? And something really just transformed recently. And I went, this is my job. And it's not personal. This is the character I chose. This is how I play. This is how my soul plays. And then I was like, oh, now I can see. And I can feel the entity types, and I'll get into this a little bit more, but I can feel the entity types and their fear around me. Not me being afraid, them being afraid. Because it's almost like, it's like a video game character. Like, I when I get bored, I start walking down dark alleys. It's just like energetically. Because it's like, where do you get your power? Well, I happen to be a very good transformer. So, and I know that evil's a good thing they have so much energy and they're so chaotic about it that like, it's not hard to trigger them up into giving you that power. So I'm like, yeah, I could go like be merry with my light workers and I will, and I'll enjoy it. But like, I need a boost. Who wants to fuck around today? Come at me. I'm gonna enjoy it. It's like really fucking weird. I'm being so transparent, but it feels so good. Because I've just kind of like understood these aspects of myself. And I really do have no judgment. It really doesn't matter which process you're working through. Because I think what happens is we think that in order to be good and to karma for work for us and for us to be a good soul, as well as a good human, that we have to look a certain way. And it's just not true. The way the soul works and embodies light, it depends on your background, your mission, and you can't escape your background. Like, let me think about how to explain this without going in too deep. You can mold and shift your character and break the mold of what you were grown up into, what you were cultured into, but you can't escape the backstory. The backstory is always going to be there, and it defines your character. Without that backstory, you are not this person. So what I would suggest, intellectually, spiritually, is to release any harm you cause yourself on your backstory. So I used to hate my backstory. I'll just give you a couple programs. I'm not saying this is always true, but these are just the programs that run into my backstory. Like, I've been highly abandoned, highly rejected, never loved, like truly never loved. Which is why I am the most loving there is. It's like, I've dealt with just crazy, like con artists, like huge manipulators, to the point that would break most people. But my soul is this level of strength. The only souls that choose circumstances like this are the ones that can handle it. Now, do you handle it well? I mean, I think that's up to you. I don't know. I think I handle it well because that's my character. That's how I've decided to develop my character in this life. But in no way do I look back on my past, on my backstory anymore, and say, I hate that part of myself. I hate that I came from that. I actually don't mind. I don't mind now. You need to understand, for you guys to have reference, I'm speaking from a very, very healed place. Okay? When anyone comes to me that comes from anything that I've come from, like, I meet them in a very different place. I'm not like, oh, just be, no, it's like, we're gonna walk through it. All of this, like, you should be, accept all those rageful parts of yourself because they're justified. It's a very different energy. So I need you to understand right now, I'm coming from a very, very, very healed place, which is why I can talk in this way. This is not, some people will speak this way from spiritual bypassing. Mine is from healing. Because I've done the amount of healing I have, I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love my backstory. I love it. I'm not going to go into the specifics now on this street, but I love it because it, without that backstory, without that context, I would not have been able to make the choices that embrace the strength of character that I had. I did have a coach years ago that was like, he was like, Emelina, if you had it any easier, you would just be some basic bitch. He literally said it to me like that. And I was like, it's true. Is that true for everyone? No, but is it true for me? Yes. Like I don't know. Like I talk with my soul frequently and I'm constantly like, why do you put me in so much challenge? And my soul is like, because it makes you. Not everyone is like that. I tend to work off of the darker leverage. I don't do it on purpose. It's how my soul works. So without that adversity, it's like, I get bored as a soul. Like I get complacent, and I haven't been that way in this life. That's my soul speaking to me, being like, I don't want you to get complacent. So I know that I can tease you, right? I know I can get the friction and the leverage right out of you where you'll just like grow like a fucking palm tree. It's like, I don't know. It's just like, I've been trying to escape it and be like, this could be easier, less challenging, and things are easy, but they're easy from me understanding my character. I hope this is making sense for you guys. I know I talk in terms of me because I don't know how else to bridge some of these gaps for you guys. It's like, use the model and the example and then transfer it to you. So instead of fighting who you are, accept who you are, look at the raw components and say, but how do I grow? Some of you only grow by getting thrashed. So why not start enjoying some of that thrashing? Some of you only grow when there is perfect light, perfect nourishment, perfect love around you. I used to wish that I had that, but it's not quite how my soul works. So I'm done hurting myself intellectually, mentally stimulating that aspect of my shadow, saying there's something wrong with me because I haven't been able to grow in those. Hold on. I come back. Oh my gosh, it like paused and then did things. Spirit was doing things. I'm sorry guys. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Oh, I was on a track. I forget what I was saying. It's really just karmically, it's about understanding who you are and accepting all aspects of who you are. We grow in different conditions. So, for example, karmically, some of you, I was saying, what sort of tree are you? Different forms of life, different forms of consciousness, different souls grow in different conditions, okay? I am the sort of soul that needs a lot of soil nourishment in order to grow. Like, I don't know, if I were to pinpoint what sort of plant I am, I'm growing in harsher environments than are typical. I need more nourishment from the soil. And I get light, but it's really nourishment from the soil. And what that means for you guys to understand spiritually, when Spirit's telling me nourishment from the soil, that's decay. That's fungi. That's the mycelium. That's death. That's death, baby. What's death? Shadow. So if you need shadow nourishment, if you need the nourishment of the nutrients of the raw form from the soil to grow, which all plants do, but some need more than others. I don't have the scientific botanical knowledge to give you an example there. then your natural soul experience would involve more shadow to give you more access to more nutrients. Some plants can deal with less nutrients in the soil because they're better at converting the circumstances of sun. And we know that sun can be damaging too. Light can be damaging too when it's too much. I have 2 Monstera plants. All right, and they're getting very, very big. One is taking over my kitchen, and I don't know what to do about it. I was like, I'm gonna bring it outside. So I go call my buddy. One of my neighbors is a landscape architect, and I was like, hey, can I put the Monstera outside? This is my example for you guys. And he was like, no. He was like, because here's the deal: the sun, the Monstera can't handle direct light. It's going to actually burn the leaves. You'll kill the plant. So when you think about light versus dark, think about it like an ecosystem, like nature. What sort of plant are you? Because my Monstera is beautiful and growing and amazing, and I love her. And she can't handle that much light. She can't. I'd love to put her outside in the sunlight. She can't handle it. Does that make her a bad plant? Does that make her a lower level consciousness? No. And I want you to think about the soul that way. So not all light is good, not all darkness is bad. It depends on the sort of character you have. It depends on your soul. And let's swing it right back to the karma. It's like, not all karma is good or bad, because for my Monstera plant, I could be like, I'm giving you good karma, I'm putting you in the sunlight, but she doesn't handle sunlight very well. I just killed her. So it's like, please be attentive to yourself and your environment, your own consciousness. There's a real subtle awareness of who you are. Not everyone fits the same goddamn mold. And I feel like everybody, whether it's YouTube, the public speakers, those that are writing all the books, and kudos, we need it. We need this elevation around all the spiritual talk. I'm just here to meet the in-betweens of like, oh, you're probably working out this consciousness. Let me start to massage out the different aspects of these consciousness for you guys, so you're not falling into just one archetypal pattern that light has to look this way. The law of manifestation, the law of attraction has to look this way, or you're doing it wrong. It's like, actually, you're probably just a jungle plant instead of a desert plant. Vice versa. Could you imagine if a cactus was trying to give advice to a rainforest tree? You know what the cactus would say? Reserve all your resources, hold back, because you don't know when the next rain's going to come. Be very dangerous externally, because too many things are going to come to try to steal the water, because water is scarce. That's the program. Is that true for the cactus? Abso-fucking-lutely. Now, would you tell the cactus, this is like a masculine consciousness, tell the cactus, like, be soft, be feminine, give it all away. You have more than enough. There's more than enough here. Give your water away. Everyone that passes by, every animal, give the water. Be so good. Be a saint. If you don't do that, there's something wrong with you. And then the cactus goes, okay, I'll do that. That sounds like really good spiritual advice. Yeah. There's no scarcity. I'll give it all away. And then the cactus dries the fuck up and dies, or gets close to dying, and its consciousness goes, hold on. I think I needed to trust myself. That advice might work for a rainforest tree, but for me, in the middle of the Sahara Desert, I know my environment, I know my conditions, I am a cactus, I am this sort of being. I was built for scarce environments. I'm not going to pretend that I am a rainforest tree. I'm just going to be a good cactus. I'm going to be the best cactus there ever was. And I'm not going to judge the rainforest plants for being what they are. I'm just going to say I live in a certain set of environment. I was born for the condition and environments that are more hostile. This is kind of how my consciousness works, and this is what I would say I was born into transparently. I was born for more hostile environments, so I tend to function very well in high pressure, very challenging adversities, which when you know that, when you understand that, then you can really get karma on your side. Because when you understand the sort of plant you are, the sort of being, the sort of consciousness, then you know what your leverage is. So if I know that I was built for hostile conditions and that I thrive in them, like a desert, which I think that example is very appropriate for me, actually. I do think I'm more of a desert-y consciousness. Except I think my consciousness is the oasis in the desert. But it's like, but still I'm surrounded by desert, and then I'm like cultivating an oasis. That's totally my essence. Anyway, so I'm getting so many downloads. Oh my gosh. Also, for you guys to see the process that I'm taking you, I'm always so transparent about my work. Like you were seeing me on edge at the beginning of this stream, like in a fed up consciousness, and I don't demonize any part of myself. I just let it work through. Very transparent, literally shooting a video in a fed up state, and then it just shifted, and I went, oh my god, I feel like it just all of it shifted, and I was like, I'm fucking great, because I just understood the consciousness of the oasis, that's actually where I'm at. But like you would feel fed up going through a desert. There's a point where you're just like, I'm so exhausted. I want some water. Like it's so hot here. And then you get to the oasis and you're like, oh, right. This is who I am. It's okay to be fed up on your walk through the desert. Those are the conditions that would make you fed up, but it's literally the journey you selected. Okay, hold on. Let me circle this back to karma because I know I was taking it somewhere. The karma. The truth about karma is stop thinking about going into the slot machine. Give me good things, don't give me bad things. And think about karma as, what sort of soul am I? What's the core build of the essence of my character? What sort of conditions do I thrive in? Because if you thrive in a desert, you're going to seek out the desert in order to thrive. But other practitioners might say, you're crazy. Don't go seek the desert to thrive. That's not what thriving looks like. Why don't you stay here? Give me a fucking urban example. Maple trees come, I am from upstate New York. Like be like the maple trees, like come into community. We want to be around some white picket fences. It's beautiful. And for a maple tree, that works. But if you're a cactus and you're trying to be in the environment and the ecosystem of a maple tree, I wish I had the scientific terms and awareness to give it to you. I know I forget what it's called. I forget what they're called. I remember learning this in high school though. Like there are types and environments that facilitate the thriving of certain plants. Some plants are more versatile, right? Like my pothos. I have pothos all over my apartment. Oh, sorry, they're in the sink. They're not back here right now. I watered them. They are very, very flexible plants. They can thrive in a lot of different locations. Probably the same with my peace lily. And my rubber tree plants. Oh, maybe you can't see them. I've got a ton of rubber tree plants. They are so flexible, right? So they can go in a lot of different environments. I have 4 cacti in my apartment. One of them I had to put outside because some of these cacti are doing really, really well over here. But there was one that needed more sun. It needs to be burned to a crisp in order to feel vibrant. I was like, it's literally dying in my apartment. So I put it outside in direct sunlight and it's thriving now. So all of this to say, I'm just giving you the different energetics and this is a transmission obviously as well. In your consciousness to help you accept who you are. Not all advice is created equal. And the advice that a lot of people give is great for who they are, but there's also this understanding of the consciousness of what sort of plant are they. I love thinking about consciousness in terms of plants. I also don't think I'm truly a cactus. I think I'm actually the oasis, but constantly surrounded by desert. To have an oasis is to have scarce resource in a desert around for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. So now that I understand that about myself, I'm like, well, why fight that I'm always in a desert? An oasis is always going to be in a desert. There's no way to have an oasis in anything but a desert. So that totally makes sense. Like, and energetically, like I'm in Los Angeles, I would say there's a desert of consciousness here. Los Angeles literally is the desert. It was a city built on the desert. It can't root and thrive energetically in that way. It is a desert. And now I understand really why I'm here, is because I think about myself in terms of an oasis. I am the oasis of consciousness, like in a desert, something that where it doesn't exist. It's so no negative things about anything material, but it is so material and so superficial and so fame chasing that it's like people don't root in who they are here. Which is why like all my clients are all over the country and not in Los Angeles. I would invite some in, but so in terms of karma, think about karma as the relationship between you understanding who you are, not as something to contort or control in the environment. Do you understand who you are? They're just assignments. Karma are assignments. I also want to get into that a little bit more too. And let me think about how I want to explain this. I'm going to give you guys another example because I wrote this out, okay? Hercules! I love the movie Hercules, the Disney movie. Think about it this way too. I'm just going to spin off another example. If you're Hercules, for example, in consciousness, which is to like have so much strength, right? Like if you're a really, really strong character, you're Hercules, as an example. Think about if Hercules, the consciousness, went home to his therapist or his mom or and was just like crying and was like, why do so many big baddies, these demons, find me? Why are I'm getting confirmation with the beeping. And this is karma, right? Like, why is it negative karma? Am I attracting this? Could you put yourself in the position of Hercules? He's like sitting at home, like crying, to his therapist, okay, the little goat man, Danny DeVito. Like, is it just bad karma, man? Like, I just have to fight so many demons. Like, am I just attracting this? Well, like, yes, but it's because you're Hercules. Like, you're the biggest, baddest, like, there was. So there are other forces that are going to try to battle you. Also because you have to be kept up. Like the point of sparring partners in the universe, which is what I would call karma, is to keep you up. You need to practice. Any level of martial artist, like if you stop your practice, like yes, you'll have some of it on autopilot, but the point is to practice, and you're not going to be practicing with people that are belts below you. If you're a black belt, you're training with black belts or second, third degree black belts because you want them to kick your ass, because you want to get better. You want to be able to level up. Now there's a balance there. You don't want them to kick your ass so bad that you can't get back up and that the recovery time is too long. You just want them to challenge you just enough to pull you into the next level. It's just enough tension, just enough friction, just enough annoyance, just enough fed upness, like with the beginning of my stream, that it's like, that it brings you into the next level. Whereas I think the collective consciousness around karma is avoidance of adversity. It's avoidance of fighting. It's avoidance of training. I only want the love. I only want the good. Fighting is a form of love. It really depends on how don't take that to a toxic level, you guys. I don't want to get into that. But it's like, it depends on how you're really looking at the forces of the universe. And when I say fight, these are just very generic terms. In the context of the consciousness of a safe gym where you are a black belt and there is another black belt, actually we'll call it even equal. There's two black belts in a gym that is safe. They both belong to the same lineage. They have both looked at each other and said, you be a good partner. I'm looking to get better. You're looking to get better. We're equal. Okay. Sweet. You do your bow, right? You give your respect and then you fight. the fight isn't for the sake of fighting. It's a form of love, because it's a form of love, of mastery of the self in dance with another. That context is the context to which I'm speaking about a fight being love, because it's not really a fight. It's actually training. It's a training ground, and the amount of love it takes to contain that training ground in the way that I've just described, that sort of consciousness, is tremendous. Now, if you were to look at a martial artist, you go to Bruce Lee and say to Bruce Lee, you should be softer. You should be sweeter. Of course he was, like, flow like water, right? Like, be like water, my friend. He's one of my ascended masters. One of my gurus, my mentors. I adore Bruce Lee. Role models is what I'd say. He's one of my role models. But Bruce Lee also knew how to have fun. He was also a professional actor. Like, he also has killed people. Like, it's like, what sort of character are you? I see Bruce Lee as one of the most elevated ascended masters that I have encountered, that can hold both sides of the coin of like the model example that I have with him, for human consciousness, because he would fight to kill, and he did act and play and dance, and he did see martial arts as a dance, and he would only fight if he needed to. He also would train and be trained. Like, it's just like a I'm just bringing in another form of consciousness into the mix. He is one of my guides, that his consciousness anyway, but this is making me relax so much more. You're also watching me go through my own process of self-acceptance, because sometimes I really do look at my circumstances. This is how I was able to tap into this video for you guys, and I go, why is it always a fight with me? Like, why is it always a fight? And it's like, well, but the fight is your love. Like, it is your play. It's the example I just gave you guys. It's like, I'm leveling up through other masters meeting me and engaging me in a safe training ground that I'm capable of, for, and with. And that's how I learn. It's how my soul levels up. I just saw there's 11 people in here. I saw the number 11. That's how my soul levels up. So if someone like me were to say, but couldn't it be easier? Shouldn't it be easier? Maybe I should just opt into a normal family life, like go have some kids, have a little family in the... I can't even pull the consciousness up, you guys. I can't even. I'm like, get me out of whatever the fuck that is. No discredit to anyone that's doing it. It's just not me. Whatever that, like, image of what a good life should be. Meanwhile, I'm like, yo, throw me in, God. Like, put me in. Like, make it fun. Give me a rise up again and again and again. Like, I am that fucking underdog player. And I will show it every time. And I'll get better every time. And it's going to be more fun every time. And I'm actually learning to enjoy who I am. Which is that player. I love playing that character. I love the underdog character. Love it. I love when people underestimate me. And it happens all the time. It's like my calling card. I love it because I love the trip I get when I show them that they were wrong. It's like, that is my ego. And she loves it. I love it. It's like where a lot of my, my shadow power comes from. But even in that's my encouragement for you guys. Like, what about you is so you, and stop fucking demonizing it. Stop making it a problem. It's your secret sauce. All right? It's your secret sauce. It's what people want to buy from you. It's what they want to engage in with you. It's your special everything. And the external circumstances karmically don't make you who you are. They don't tell you who you are. You already know who you are. So there is no condition of, well, I have to be softer and just fucking be a doormat so that the law of attraction will reflect more good circuit, like, so I can have better love. I don't know. I can't even describe it because I'm coming from the position of being the essence and energy that I am. Ultimately, all of this comes down to just watch your consciousness. Don't try to be something you're not. And a lot of what spiritual communities talk about and channel on around karma is it's an entrance level to karma. It's like a white belt of karma. Okay, I'm taking you guys on the black belt. You're in the black belt scenario with me, the like 3rd degree black belt of karma. It's more than just cause and effect. It's who are you. The karma is you and you. The karma has nothing. It has very little to do with you in the external world. It has everything to do with your ideas between chaos and balance. Chaos and stability, rather. It's the shadow and the light. You're working your own shadow and your light back and forth. That's the karma. Your karma is you. Are you comfortable with who you are? If you were bred for a desert environment, are you really going to just keep trying to be a maple tree, which lives in a totally different ecosystem? They don't relate. A maple tree would die in a desert. A cactus would die in the conditions that a maple tree thrives in. Like, are you going to keep trying to fight yourself? Or can you completely intuitively accept who you are and then understand that the karma that comes in those conditions are the karma that make you? It's part of that ecosystem. So like, I thrive in deserts. I'm more of a desert gal. This totally makes sense for me. Not completely, whatever. It's like the specifics to your essence. Some of you need more community. You're a different sort of ecosystem being. You actually do need more love and support in order to thrive, which is why you'll receive it, which has very little to do with karma, whether or not you're producing what you need out into the universe, and has everything to do with the type of seed that you are, the type of soul that you are. That type of seed will dictate the circumstances that need to come to you. That is the force of life that you have to trust. It all comes back down to trust. That will break your seed open and give you the nourishment that you require so that you can actually sprout and grow in the conditions that you are meant to sprout and grow in, which are not the same unanimously. And that's the way we think about spirit. We think about it all as the same. You got to relate it back to nature. Nature's not the same. I mean, it is when you look at, we're all one, we're all on earth together, like, yes, but there are so many different ecosystems and environments. And if you take one thing and put it in the wrong environment, it'll die. Mind your environment. Part of me wants to talk about just briefly karma as, you know how I was saying karma are assignments? They're not all us being assigned to the karma. The karma is assigned to us because the karma is looking to learn. The karma are the entities, the attachments. So, karmic patterns will show up in, like, if you have a history of deep abandonment wounding, we can always work on the wounds to heal them, and then they become scars, but that the presence will kind of always be there. It's like you might think like, oh, but I already overcame this abandonment wounding. Why is it coming up again in my life? Why is it coming up again in my friendships? What am I doing to attract this? And what I want you to perceive in a scenario like that is it's not about what you are attracting. It's about see abandonment, or see whatever the thing is. I just saw 11. Oh my God, 11. I have 11 people in here and 11 thumbs up. Look at that. This is the message. It has everything to do with understanding that karma are, they are the assignments for them, for these entity types. So in this case, I'm talking about the entity type of abandonment. That entity type of abandonment I have been dancing with my entire life. And rather than trying to escape the abandonment, what I realized is, why don't I get really good at dancing with it? Because it's my dance partner. It selected me. I selected it. It's an assignment, not just for me, but the entity type of abandonment is also on assignment to Emelina. Because the entity type of abandonment has something to learn from me. This is how I want you guys to think about karma. Karmic attachments are attachments, just like people and relationships. They are, what's your attachment style? Are you avoidant? Are you anxious? Are you secure? Even the secure people under certain conditions become anxious or avoidant. Anxious or avoidant attachers, fearful avoidant attachers can become secure in the right environments. So it's like, think about think about karma being entities. I want you to think them like people or energies that you're in relationship with, and think about them being on assignment, that they're on assignment to learn something from you. Because we always think as karma as a one-sided thing where we have to learn from this thing, but it's actually two ways. All right. And when I dance with abandonment, let me feel this feeling, because I have been dancing with it, like, as opposed to being ill towards it or trying to shove it away. I haven't been. I've been like, let me dance with you. Like, I actually, you clearly we're supposed to be in this dance together because you keep coming back to me. That's my point. It's like, if you did the work, and I've done the work to heal the abandonment wounds, and it just keeps coming back because it's an infinite process, and because they are entity types. So it's like, oh my God, my poor little brain. Give me the esoteric concepts in an easier way. It's like really expanding my mind right now. Their assignments, their attachments. So it's less about saying like, how am I still attracting this? This should be gone by now. It's not taking that energy, because that's a fearful, that's not just a negative energy. It's a punishing energy if I treat myself and this entity type this way. And it's realizing the karma, like I thought this dissolved with my father. I thought this dissolved with my mother. I thought this dissolved with my brother. I thought this dissolved with any of the extended family. I thought this dissolved with the ex that when we parted ways. I thought this dissolved with this. I thought this, and it's like, oh, it keeps coming back. It's not necessarily the idea of like, this is being attracted to me. And it's more that this is, I'm not attracting any one person doing this. Oh my God, I hope this is, I know this will make sense for some of you, but this is really, I'm stretching consciousness right now and trying to find a way to explain it in a very human way. Instead of me attacking in my mind that thing being a person and saying, why does this cycle keep repeating with all of these different people with the same pattern? That makes me attach to each individual person and make it a personal hurt towards me. It makes it personal. I hope this is making sense for you guys. I have to make it personal to give the example. For now, until I can digest this concept more and explain it a little more detached, but that's a very personal process. When we treat karma as an entity type instead of as one-to-one interactions, it depersonalizes it and it turns it into a dance. So when I looked across, I've had huge abandonment with over 15 people, close, deep love. It's been so painful for me in my life. So what I've been doing is sweeping through it, saying, what is this really? Why does it keep coming up really? And the reason why it keeps coming up is because I am in a dance with the entity type of abandonment, not with any of these people. So no matter what person it is, it's always going to make itself known to me because I am in a dance with the karma of abandonment. When we look at the, and this is again going from the beginning of the stream, the structure of the consciousness of the shadow, it's like the people come and go at the top layer, but when you go down, like me and abandonment are in a relationship. And then when I look at it that way, it makes it so much less personal because I'm like, oh, abandonment is just on assignment. And I'm just on assignment as well. And I'm like, okay, I look at the entity type. It's an entity. It's an alive, thoughtful entity type of abandonment. And I say, we are in relationship. Now that I've accepted that we are in relationship and I'm no longer avoidantly running from you, let me look at you, come here. Like, what do we have together? And even I'm doing it right now. I'm alchemizing it right now. So I've got abandonment with me. I'm like, okay, what do you need? And abandonment is showing itself to me as a wolf that's cowered over with tears in its eyes. That's how the energy is, the entity type is showing itself to me right now. So I go, oh my gosh, I've been running from you and I've been holding back the very thing that you need. And now they're showing me what I need to do. So I'm doing it right now with my energy. You're just watching me do my energy work in real time. I'm taking a gem out of my heart. It's a ruby gem. I'm offering it. I love you. And I'm doing the energy work, so I'll walk you guys through what's happening. I'm watching the energy completely transformed with me. So, and it feels like a masculine entity type to me, abandonment, which might just mean that my abandonment is a masculine abandonment. So man, how do you explain this to people on a video? Oh my God, you just watched me walk through my own energy work. So I just met that part of myself, that external entity type, which is also a part of myself because it's in an attachment relationship style, which is the karma. The karma is the attachment, the assignment. And I just watched that wolf energy change, and he just put his arm around me and said, I never left you. I always had you. Like, thanks for looking out for me. Like, that's how that energy just shifted. I'll keep you guys posted. I think I may have just literally cured my abandonment wound completely. I think that's what that energy was. It feels so warm now. God bless myself for doing this shit live. It's actually more fun doing it live than doing it by myself in a corner. Oh my gosh, I can feel it is a masculine entity type for me because that's clearly how I've experienced it. But I can feel this entire side of my body softening, like, oh. And now I think we just changed from a desert environment to something different. So it's like, you know, it's like this constant process of alchemy. This has been a very long conversation around karma, but this is truly how I receive and perceive karma. They are assignments, they are energies, they are entities. Those entities are parts within yourself, within your shadow, that need, ultimately, if we simply said it, that need to be loved, but really they need you to honor their relationship instead of running from or demonizing them. Instead of neglecting them, because if I were to look at the core of what I just walked through with you guys watching, witnessing me, I'm like, have I been running from abandonment? Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, have I been neglecting the entity type of abandonment? If we think about it as a person or anthropomorphizing it into an energy, because it is, it's an entity. An entity that I could channel or talk to just like a human. Like, have I abandoned the abandonment entity? Yeah. Do I think the abandonment entity encounters a lot of abandonment? Yeah, the most. That entity type is constantly being abandoned. It is abandonment. To be that is to constantly be abandoned. And then from there, if you're looking at a child, it's like, oh my God, you just need a fucking hug. Entity type of abandonment in relationship with me, like, you just needed me to stop running away from you and to say, you're not scary. I see you. I love you just the way that you are. I wonder what happens when I stop running from you. I wonder what happens when I stop neglecting you. I wonder what happens when I stop abandoning abandonment. It's very trippy. You guys, you do not need to do mushrooms. You can just listen to me. I will take you on the trips. Sober. Yes. Goal achieved. I feel like I was just given a trophy. Like a big gold coin. It's like being dropped from God to me right now. For walking through that. So anyway, Whatever deep wounding patterns, this is shadow work, by the way. So whatever deep wounding patterns there are, it's like treat them as an entity type. It removes the personal attachment. That has to do with me. I have to be better. Like, let all that go. All right. See it as an entity. Understand that you are in relationship with that entity. Stop swatting it away because you have agreed to be in relationship. If you are in relationship, treat it like a lover. Well, we are in relationship, so clearly I enjoy this. Otherwise, this would not be an automatic attachment. So what have I been missing, and or what can I enjoy about this, or what can I offer that I haven't been offering myself and this attachment? Karma. And in doing that, you change your relationship to that entity, which is that part of yourself. None of these things are really external. To be human is to be a conflicted thing. To be human is to be half dark, half light. Like, deal with it. You can run all your energetic current into one of the two, but you're always going to have that yin yang symbol. There's always going to be a transformation where it can just shift all the way back over again. Even those people that think they're so evil, it's like, good luck. It just takes like one little experience for you to then turn right back over to good. It's like literally, like, these things are so flexible. This is truly me as a shaman. They're literally just, I see shaman in big lights. I'm like, oh, right. That is like shamanic territory, is this like constant, like, darkness to light, shadow to elevated traits. Like, yeah, that was so fun. It's the only reason why I do live streams that are so long, is this is so fun for me. It's juicy. It gives me so much pleasure. I don't think there's anything more pleasurable than this, than what I just did. Like, it feels so good. I saw 10:10 up on the thing too, on the timer, and at 100 minutes. Okay, that's what I got for you guys today. Thanks for attending my karmic workshop and watching me go through it in real time. Oh my God. Wait, what's that word mean? Vatalina? I'm gonna look through your comments. I adore you guys. If you want to walk through this process with me personally, email me about Summer Quantum Breakthrough and I will take you through your own transformation process, one-to-one, with me holding space for you in all the ways essentially that I just did for myself on stream and for you as a group. That was so effing enjoyable. This is also part of like living in the present moment. Like, when you really show up authentically as you are, there's nothing to not just, oh, I feel like I'm oozing right now. Like, some people will be like, oh, I can only experience that in orgasms, like in like sexually, and I'm like, I experience it all the time because I enjoy my life. I enjoy who I am. So it's like, when you invest more of yourself into the things that you really enjoy and allow other people, other ways of experiencing that, what have you, like, it's a dance. Everything's a dance. It really depends if you want to see, is it a fight or a dance? My consciousness has been constantly trying to reconcile that, and I just realized I dance through the fight. Like, I dance through the conflict. Like I am built as like a martial artist or like a warrior, but I dance through that. I'm not like angry about it. I'm not, like, I am what I am. And then it becomes, oh gosh, it just feels so good. It just like becomes a dance. And that's the acceptance. And that's where that pleasure comes from. It's like a soul pleasure. I can feel it. I'm like, oh wow, that level of alchemy. And that's the good karma. Those are the blessings. Like, things are going to pour in now because I opened that energy up, and because I took something that was a demon in my consciousness, which is abandonment, has been chasing me around since I was a child. And I said, I'm not scared of you anymore. Like, actually, I really love you too. Thank you for making me who I am. I wouldn't be here without you, Abandonment. I wouldn't be so good at cultivating community without that the circumstances that abandonment has been working with me in relationship as long as it has. I wouldn't be as kind. I wouldn't be as loving by any means. If I had an easier life, I don't know, I'd probably be a punk. Would have done a lot of drugs, I'll tell you that much. People are like, oh, you never did drugs? I'm like, no, I couldn't afford to. Like, not financially. Like I was steeped in such conflict all the time that just for me to get out, I had to have the clearest mind possible. I'm like, who the hell knows? If I had an easier life, I probably would have been a coke addict in New York. That's like literally, I remember saying that to the shaman I worked with when I was like 23. And he was like, well, you know, work through your parallel realities. I'm like, I know. You guys gotta understand my consciousness form is I'm so playful. Like, I literally will play in everything of understanding. Because, Dylan, I saw you be like, what? Like, yeah, people will be like, what? What did she just say? I will say things just to say them. I will not act perfectly for you. But no, I'm not into drugs. Let me look through your comments. Okay, anyway, Summer Quantum Breakthrough. Jump in. I love that there's been a steady 11 people in this room. Like, just seeing the number 11 again and again and again just, like, really makes me happy. My life path number is an 11. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. Let me see if there's anything I need to answer. I love that all of you guys were in here with me. I love that we spoke about perfectionism. Oh, so good. You're a cleric, sorceress, multi-class. Okay, great. Oh yeah, is a sorceress a thing? I said wizard, but it is sorcery, right? Stormy, did you pick yet? I did. Okay. The element of storm came to me and said, Emelina, like, enough, like, spell it the way that it's normally spelled. But so right now I'm going S-T-O-R-M-Y. But I think I'm going to play with it because I enjoy playing. Like, this is just who I am. Like, I like playing with form, so I'll probably mess around. Kimmy, I'm a magnifying mirror. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, go girl. I'm happy you like the example of the cactus versus rainforest. We can thank Spirit and my consciousness for bringing that one forward. I liked that too for myself. That was healing. You think you're Batman? If you're Batman, I mean, if Batman is your essence, what's the essence of Batman? Then you probably feel like you need to wear a mask in order to do your good. There are a lot of things with that, right? Yo, Jem! Happy to see you in here, sweetheart. Oh my God, Gemma, you're gonna love this video. Go back and watch the whole thing later. Back that shit up. You guys are so funny. I adore all of you so much. You have no idea how much this fuels me. Watching Hercules. Yes. You guys, Hercules is so good. But like legit, he's got his little goat therapist, which is also funny because the goat is a representation of the devil. So it's like he's going, his therapist is the devil, the entity type of attachment impure. Like, it's like so funny. I'm gonna rewatch that movie too. It's one of my favorites. Oh my God, I love Hercules. Oh, wait, where'd my comments go? I love Bruce Lee. Yeah, Bruce Lee's, oh God, what a gem of consciousness. Flicking the switch at 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so cool. That's, when you see the numbers ascending like that, that's like an ascension pattern that you're moving through. Karma as an entity type, great example with abandonment. Thank you. I'm happy it came through that way. Doug, abandonment stays dedicated to this relationship too. Yeah, yes! Oh my gosh. Yes. Right, exactly. That's my point. You know, the thing with abandonment is I kept chasing around. I was like, there's no way I'm attracting this. Like, I really thought it through. I was like, nobody has this many core abandonment wounds. Like, I've got too many. I was like, because it made me reflect on myself. I was like, there's nothing wrong with me. It's what it makes me think. I'm like, how that many? Like, I'm like, what's wrong with me? And it has nothing to do with the humans. It has everything to do with the entity type of abandonment. And my relationship to abandonment, which I think is pure now. So yes, so abandonment will keep, or whatever the entity type is that you're in dance with, will keep engaging with you because it's acting as a soul partner. It's acting as a reflection for you to learn from and for it to learn from you. It truly is both ways, I promise. Because even in myself, I'm like, wow, I'm like, when I connect to that part of abandonment, that entity type of abandonment, I'm like, God, abandonment needs love as an entity type. And abandonment as an entity type is the one that would get the least amount of love. And abandonment as an entity type is probably sitting there saying, I'm doing all this work for everyone. I'm showing them their shadows and I'm never, ever receiving anything back. Like that's got to be a core wound for abandonment, who's doing what it needs to do in this universe for us to heal and learn from. So that if we can love that part of that wound in that entity, we heal ourselves and the whole at the same time. Trippy for whoever wants to sit and meditate with that one. Oh, I saw Silverleaf in here. Hi, love. So real and relatable AF. I'm so glad. This is my homework for tomorrow. You guys are troopers. Oh my God. Randy. I love the name Stormy. That was the name of our last RV. She got us through every storm. Yes, sir. Shenanigans. Yeah. That's my, when I really feel into Stormy as a name, it really is like I'm not bringing storms to people. I'm just embracing the storm and rearranging energy. And the oasis, you know, the eye of the storm. There's so many different aspects of that energy that I'm learning and identifying with. But anyway, I'm going to run with the 11 people in here. I adore you. This was such a really fun scenario and conversation and everything. This was so juicy. Okay, that's what I got. If you liked the stream, click the link below and sign up for the fall equinox replay. We did the live ceremony. I have the replay. I'll send it to you. It's an hour. Coffee. Are you saying it's time for coffee for me, actually? The fall equinox ceremony was really, really beautiful about this split in the understanding of the shadow and the light, because the fall equinox is equal time space of shadow and light. So it's really embracing it right now at this time. Kimmy, I love it for you. I'm not the messenger, but my light shines on the truth. That's good. That's good. Yeah, embrace that for yourself. The ceremony was pivotal. Aww. I love the things we do together. I wasn't there. I gotta watch that. Oh yeah, please do. If you sign up, I sent the replay out already, but I'll send another email out for the replay links. And you guys can enjoy that. Okay, that's what I got. I'll stay here forever because I love you guys, but I'm gonna go get some work done. This is one form of work. I'm gonna go do another form of work. I have a very beautiful, fun program that I'm developing for you guys shortly that I'm very excited about. Okay, I'll see you soon. Enjoy your day. Gem M is abandonment, not the inner child. I think of it as a separate entity, but it is. It's parts therapy. If you do that, you might do that. It's parts therapy. So the abandonment is that it's a form. It is an entity type, but it's also in relationship with the inner child and or is a part internally of the inner child, because everything happening outside is happening inside. So it makes it easier for me to relate to it as a separate entity because I'm a medium. But if it's easier for you to relate to it as an inner child, then yeah, family systems. Yeah, totally. If it's easier to relate to it as a part of yourself and the inner child to work it through, then do it that way. It's harder for me because my inner child feels abandoned, it doesn't feel like the abandoner, if that makes sense. So I needed to talk to the overall abandoner energy and have that dialogue within myself. internal family systems. Yeah. Perfect. Alrighty, you guys. Enjoy. For those of you that are ending now, go watch the beginning. It's all really magical. Alrighty. Lots of love. Peace.